We're going to have lunch provided by the Miller family. And then there'll be photo ops. You guys are going to take some pictures with the fighters and everything and get together. And
today we're having a seminar, super seminar, run by our elite group of instructors, our UFC fighters, Jim Miller, Dan Miller. We got some invites. Guys came down. Chris Weidman coming off his UFC victory against Tom Lawler. Everybody in the MMA community, mostly our fighters and stuff, kind of came out, offered to make this super seminar, which was Mike Constantino and Jim Miller's idea.
We were running a seminar as a fundraiser for the Daniel James Miller Foundation. Danny is my nephew. He was born with recessive polycystic kidney disease, which basically the name implies what it is. There's lots of cysts on the kidneys, so they don't function properly. He just had his kidneys removed in September. Now he's waiting for a transplant. So what we're trying to do is raise some money because one, my aunt's she's donating the kidney. Her surgery wasn't covered by insurance, and actually the UFC was nice enough to take that cost and pay for her surgery, which was amazing and very generous of them. But also he's going to be on anti-rejection drugs for the rest of his life. He'll probably end up having to have more transplants and stuff like that. So there's always going to be medical costs of blood tests and the medications that insurance doesn't quite cover everything. They cover like 90%, but the drugs are very expensive. So we were just trying to ease the financial burden on my brother and his wife.
Morning we had a bunch of black belts and pro fighters come in and teach a couple moves, and then over the course of about 2 hours, and then lunch provided by my mother and father, and then now we're going to go into a Muay Thai seminar with Gunsock. The whole seminar is set up to benefit the Daniel James Miller Foundation. The proceeds go towards that.
He was transported down to Children's Hospital, Philadelphia, and from that time on, he hasn't had any kidney function. So he's on peritoneal dialysis every night, which Dan, my sister-in-law, and my parents, and Dan's mother-in-law, they do it. They're the ones that set him up and monitor the dialysis, which is pretty amazing for my mom was a dialysis nurse, so she gets it. She's done it, but for my brother and everyone else to have to do something like that is it's something that most people don't even know what it is, let alone have the ability to do it.
Jim Miller, a couple months back at a Wounded Warriors project through Microtech in Washington, D.C. And I got to talking to him. It was the first time I met him. And he started telling me a little bit about Dan and his career, and he started telling me about everything he's been going through. And I was just like amazed by that he's actually able to train and fight against the top guys in the world. And I have a daughter who's 1.5 years old. So from the stories I was hearing, it was just I could relate, and my heart just went out to him and his family. And then when I found out that there was going to be a seminar and they're doing a charity event to raise some money, I was just like, I gotta volunteer if if they're interested in having me. I'd love to come and help out.
Chris came in and really just stepped up and was really generous. Drove all the way out here just to help out. And I am thankful, and I really.
It's difficult for Dan to get in here and train on a regular basis. So he's been in here and there and lifting and stuff like that. But he's doing what he's got to do. Fighting is a passion and a job and how he provides for his family. But the first things first. That's his son. And he would give up everything for him. So he's doing what he's got to do.
The support of my family and my friends and everyone involved has just been it's been awesome, and that's I think how my wife and I have gotten through this is the support of our family and friends. Without them, I don't know if we would be as strong, as we are. Jim is very, very supportive. I know he would do anything for me, and vice versa. If he ever went through anything, I would be there with him, instantly. And he's the same way, just super supportive, and he's always there to listen and help me out.
Today we were raffling off my shorts and gloves from my debut fight in the UFC, and some other things. And like I said, people donated stuff, so we didn't have the time to get everything cataloged and stuff like that to do it today. But we will be holding auctions online for the rest of the stuff, and make great gifts for the holidays and stuff like that. And every penny of it is going to help my nephew. So it's a great cause, and it's some great stuff too.
You look in the room, the place was pretty filled from one side of the mat to the other. So definitely think it was a success. I just spoke to a bunch of guys that actually came out from Oregon, which is ridiculous. They flew out here from Oregon once they heard Dan's story, and which is huge. They gotta be good dudes to do that. So
whole week has been keeping all the press at bay, because we had set up all these interviews. I was going, let's set up all these interviews, and then Dan's sons they're back and forth 24-hour care to the hospital. So you really get a feeling of what's important, and it was really nice to call the journalists, people from Sirius Radio, TV, everybody, and say, look, I'm sorry we can't do stuff this week. Things have kind of, they're having a rough week, and everybody was more worried about the family than they were about their interviews. And that said a lot for the MMA community and the media as a whole. It was really touching.
I always wanted to, come out here and train with these guys. Always looking for guys around your size to train with, and it's just never actually happened. But something like this brought me out. And they're all awesome guys, down to earth, and I just want to be there for anybody who's in the MMA community when they need help. So glad to be here and help out.
It was amazing. The account for the donations actually got shut down because they didn't know if it was real or not, because there were so many donations within the first few hours. So it's I just thank everybody.
There really is no other words. I want to thank you for the generosity and the support that you've given me, and just thank you so much, really.